Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to discuss X-Men Days of Future Past. Okay guys, welcome back. So X-Men, another one of the big movies for May this year. You guys know how I feel about the X-Men movie in terms of some of the looks of the characters. I mean, I did a whole video on that. I'm a huge X-Men fan. I liked the first one. I thought Bryan Singer did a great job with the first two X-Men before he took off. This movie is a little concerning because, first of all, I don't like Quicksilver. I don't like the way he looks. He looks like Elton John. I'm sorry, he looks like Elton John. I've said that before, and just the goggles, the silver, and but anyway, the movie itself. Look, what it's doing. My concern is this: I really liked X-Men First Class. It's probably my favorite one. Then comes X-Men 2, and then X-Men 1, and so on and so forth. And my concern is that now that Bryan Singer has sinked his teeth into this movie, and he's brought back, Halle Berry and the whole crew with the exception of Femke Jensen and forget the gentleman's first name, but I know his last name is Marston. With the exception of bringing those two back, and who knows, maybe there's a surprise there that we don't know about. Sometimes movies do that. I haven't heard anything, but sometimes they manage to keep that under wraps. I get a small feeling that we might see something like that, but I'm not holding my hopes up high. And, it is what it is. So, what's happening here, my concern is you're taking the X-Men First Class, which I know had a lot of differences in it. Obviously, Mystique being buddy-buddy with Professor X and stuff like that. But outside of that, I like the whole movie. I thought it was great. And I think one of the reasons is because of Michael Fassbender, who played Magneto. I thought he did an excellent job. Excellent job playing Magneto. Now you're taking a good movie like that and you're going to merge it with basically the cast of the first trilogy. And so much can go wrong. So much can go wrong. And I'm already seeing some things I'm not too crazy about. I understand if they want to take some of these characters and make them look different from the comic, fine. I accept that. I've come to accept that over the years. I've come to accept the fact that I'll never see Wolverine in his classic outfit ever. I can accept it. But goddamn, you want to talk about really going off the edge, man. The whole goggles and the silver. He looks like a fucking. I can't even. So that was a concern, and not just him, some other characters as well. But primarily, he's the issue for me. The whole look. The Sentinels, when I first saw them in Comic-Con, they showed a headshot. When I saw the headshot, I was cool with that. I'm like, you know what? That's cool. I like that. I'm digging that. It's not 100% identical, but it's got its own thing, and I can live with that. Then as time progressed and they revealed how the Sentinels will look, full body, again, a little bit of concern. They look, honestly, they just look like Wolverine can tear one apart by himself. He doesn't even look like one would challenge him. Now, I know it's not going to come off that way. I understand that they're supposed to obviously play a significant threat to the mutants. But man, they look flimsy. They look very flimsy. They got that whole whatever the hell that is in the middle of their chest. And yeah, they're big, but they're not that big. They're 16, 17 feet tall. I don't know. I think Wolverine can take one by himself, but we'll see how that turns out. I'm not worried about Peter Dinklage in his role. He's proven to be a great actor, so I think he's all set. Halle Berry, I never liked her as Storm. I always thought back in the day that Angela Bassett should have played Storm. Now that's not so much the case because Angela Bassett's a lot older, but at the time, I thought she would have been a perfect Storm. She's more muscular. She's got a stronger, more imposing face. Like she's not an ugly woman. What I'm saying is she just looks more threatening. Halle Berry's got such a baby face. It's like when you look at Storm in the comic, she's like, you know what I mean? And, she just looks powerful. Halle Berry's like lightning. I'm just not convinced. So In terms of the movie, I think it's one of those potential plots that could either be very good or it can completely bomb. And because we don't know much about it, because outside of Godzilla, actually, Godzilla at this point has surpassed X-Men in terms of promoting the movie. I've been kind of curious to see what the hell's going on with X-Men. There hasn't been another trailer, or maybe there's one coming soon. I don't know about it. But outside of that first trailer, that's it. That's it. Now, we know that according to Bryan Singer, and this is always something you can put into question because directors have been known to lie, Rogue, who has been promoted on the magazines and all this and all that, according to what I understand, she's not in the movie at all. She originally had one scene and they cut it out. Whether or not that's the case, we'll have to wait and see. I don't see why he would lie about that, but at the same time, who knows? They might be setting something up. I don't know. Even if they did cut her out, honestly, is any of us going to miss her? She never really was the Rogue that we all know and love from the comics. You know, she never flew around, kicked the shit out of people, never took, she could take the energy of somebody, but that was about it. She just never met that potential. Then there's the whole Bobby Drake thing. Now, I'm hoping to see him do the Iceman thing. I'm not going to hold my breath once again. We saw him do it once briefly in the third movie, and I can't even give Bryan Singer credit for that because he didn't direct the movie. So, will we see Iceman's Iceman form in a little bit more extended period of time for maybe, traveling that way? I don't know. I'd love to see it, even if it's for 2 minutes. I'd be happy with that. Don't think we're going to see that either. A slew of characters. So, this can only mean one of two things. Either there's too much and we're just not, some of them are going to be treated like just fodder, like you'll see them once or twice and that's it, or we're going to see some deaths, and in place of those that are dead, we'll see the new mutants that come in, the Quicksilvers of the world, and Warpath and things like that. Now the other thing is they already announced X-Men Apocalypse, which is going to be the sequel to this movie. So who makes the cut? Well, we know Wolverine will be there. Are we going to see another Professor X death? I mean, I don't think so. He's died already. That went up people's ass sideways. So I think Bryan Singer knows better than that. But not for nothing. As much as I love Patrick Stewart and I love Ian McKellen, they're two fine actors. They're getting old. I mean, they were already old when they started this. A lot of people went apeshit when Ian McKellen back in the day got casted as Magneto. And people have learned to accept it because the guy's such a great actor. You can't deny the fact that he's just entertaining to watch. But man, these guys ain't young. You're trying to start a whole new series of this now, and maybe Fassbender and they can do something with Fassbender and I forget the other guy's name that plays Professor X. So one of you guys will mention it for me, so I appreciate it in advance. But maybe they'll take over. Maybe we'll see something where Magneto and Professor X die in the future, so they got to go back into the past and get them. But we already know that Professor X is asking Wolverine to go in the past and get him anyway, so I don't know. This shit's going to confuse a lot of people. I think it's already confusing me. But I think that's where they might go. I think what you'll see is you're going to see the Magneto and the X-Men from X-Men Days... see? Confusion. From X-Men First Class eventually take the torch for X-Men... for Magneto and Professor X in the future. I think that's the direction they're going to go in. So don't be surprised if you see a Professor X and Magneto from the future kick the bucket, and then the two ones from the past take over as the primary Magneto and Professor X of the future. At least that's my guess. But who knows? We will find out when the movie comes. We will find out for Age of Apocalypse when that eventually arrives. And boy, in the middle of all these superhero movies, we got Godzilla coming out in May. Obviously, Spider-Man. It's only a couple of weeks away for all these movies, man. It's finally getting exciting. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on the X-Men movie. You excited? Not excited? What are you looking forward to? Do you think the future Magneto and Professor X will die and the Days of Future Past, again, First Class Magneto and Professor X will take over for them and lead the torch into the next movie? I kind of see that happening, but who knows? Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.